9 wins can get a wild card. It should be able to. It should. I have Lions going 7-8, so I think we just fall a little bit short. Would you tank? Okay, so I'm already seeing mock drafts, Mark. I'm already seeing mock drafts of Warpath for the Detroit Lions tanking to get a quarterback. Would you tank this year, Mark?
No.
Then we'll go Corey. Go ahead.
No. I don't want to tank this year to get a quarterback just yet. You know, I don't even know what's going on with CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Like, they're obviously playing this year, but, like, you know, let's give Jared Goff just an opportunity to do something here. And you know, his out is next year if he doesn't do well. And you know, if he doesn't do well, then his team is probably not going to win enough games to get a pick like 13 or 14, and we'll be out of those sweepstakes. So there's always a shot that this team could just lose on their own without even tanking. We've seen it in the past. I don't think tanking is an option right now because I don't really see any quarterback. There's going to be good quarterbacks, obviously, with Stroud and Young, but I don't think we need to do that right now.
Warpath, when I said the word tanking, you look like you just licked a window and sniffed some glue. What do you think about the tanking? Should the Lions do that?
Let me ask you a question. And it's the same thing with my team. So this is how I feel about it. And say, what was y'all's record last year?
3 wins.
1, right?
3-13.
You don't tank if you're a bad team. You're just awful. It's no such thing as tanking and being a bad team. That is asinine. You tank if you're good, and you're like, oh, well, you know, we got all this talent. Hey, let's get over it. The Detroit Lions, the Washington Commanders are bad football teams. You don't tank. You just suck, boys and girls. So you can't really tank. You can't tank. That's an oxymoron. A bad team tanking. How can you tank when you're already tanked already?
You can't tank what you want, but you can tank if you suck. And I don't think we're tanking. But there's another question I liked up from Mr. Big Chug right there. He says, trade up for a quarterback next year. Now, that's a different story because we're going to have 2 first-round picks. Not 1, but 2. Thank you, Matthew Stafford. Mark Orem, do we trade up to get the franchise next year?
Well, that's always a situation that could arise because now we have the capital to do it. Now, just like I said earlier, if Jared Goff completely, you know, does not have a good season and he just, you know, he seems like he doesn't want to be here or he just overly all bad, you know, they can get rid of him. You get all kinds of money freed up on a cap space, and we have the draft capital from, thank you, Mr. Matt Stafford, Super Bowl winner. That's it. Like, we have the capital now. We can do it. If they love Stroud, if they love Bryce Young, go up and get somebody. You know, you can go get Bryce Young, pair him back up with Jameson Williams. We got that Alabama connection right there, baby. So why not? We have the capital. If they really want to do it, Brad Holmes has shown that he has the guts to do something like this. He did it with Jameson Williams. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again, especially if Goff fails.
Folks, if you want your questions answered, put a hashtag in that mug. If I miss it, just repost it. Probably just because I missed it. There's 226 of you in here, so it's going to happen. But that's how I see it. Holmes has shown he can get his guy 100%. I agree with that. Facts. He will trade up. He will trade down. We went and got Jameson Williams. And I think is a steal. Basically for a 3rd-round pick to go up 20 spots, and we switched to 2. Man,
got him.
That's exactly what we did to the Minnesota Vikings. Hashtag one quarterback you would really like to take a chance on to come as a backup and steal Goff's spot this year. As a backup, you have Nick Foles out there. He's not going to take his spot. I think he'd be much better than Tim Boyle. My God. And Baker Mayfield? Coulda. If they release him, I don't think we're going to trade for him. But as a backup, I think they're in love with Tim Boyle. I think Tim Boyle has something on them. But I don't know what the hell he's got going on.
A Boyle.
What's that?
He's got a boil on him.
Oh, man, that dude drives me nuts. How is he on this team? If the Lions make the playoffs, does Brad Holmes keep Goff for the rest of his contract? Damn it. I knew someone would put this question on there. This is a hard. You know what I say? No, I say still draft a quarterback, but Brad Holmes is not me. I think he would keep him for the rest of the contract. What do you think, Sanchez? I mean,
Sanchez. How can you argue with keeping him if he does what he needs to do? That's what he came in here was to do, is to win football games. If he's winning football games, don't matter. Like, this is what we got to do here. Like, it drives me crazy in this NFL because you have people out there that would rather lose sexy than win ugly. Like, think about that. And we all know them. Like, they will critique, but if the guy goes out there and wins, no matter how ugly it is, you have to give him a shot. You have to give him another shot and let him play out the duration of that contract. I mean, everything's a year-by-year basis, though, in the National Football League, though.
What's your minimum expectations for Campbell Goff and the defense to show improvement last season, Mark Orem from Orem's Forum?
What's your minimum expectations for Campbell, Goff, and the defense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, my minimum expectations, I just want Goff to protect the football, man. I don't want him throwing INTs all the time, fumbling the ball. That's one of my least worry. That's one of my biggest worries, actually, about Jared Goff. Hold on to the football. You know, with Campbell, I want him. You know, he went through some things last year where he was getting criticized. You know, running the ball too much, doing this, doing that. You know, I just need him to be. We just need him to be a leader. He knows how to coach. He did it in Miami. You know, first year in Detroit, and he was handed a really bad roster here, and I think he did a good job just leading. You know, the wins will come eventually, and for this defense, you know, the only way to go for this defense is to go up. We were like 30th or 31st, so we can't get much. We can't get really much worse. So they need to get better in the sack department. You know, I think they got that big time with Hutch coming in. They drafted that James Houston kid too coming in. Can he make the squad as a 6th rounder though? And just don't get gashed through the air as much. You know, create some pressure on that D line. Have some better linebacker play. Just all around, just be a better defensive unit. I still think they're young, and I still think they're going to struggle a bit, but only way to go is up.
And I got my guy Blaze Radio. Blaze McCoy says, and again. We'll do another.
And again.
That is for him, folks. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to Blaze Radio, friend of the show, and on the warpath here, my guy from the Washington Commanders. He will command you. Yes, that is a saying. Hashtag Lions Nation logo should be the official Detroit Lions logo. It is a ridiculous logo. I love it. And again, in 23 minutes, we're going to be live on Lions Nation Unite. This stream will push you to that stream because I'm just jumping over there. So get ready for that. It's going to be epic. If I miss your question, repost it. Is Jameson Williams set to play for the Detroit Lions, or is his personality? Also, what receiver will have the most production this year? It's his personality. He is definitely not a guy who likes to talk. He is definitely not a fan of the camera. This guy is the most bland human being on the face of the earth, not playing football. But when he's playing football, it's a different story. He was going crazy when Lions drafted him with the fan base. It's not. He doesn't hate the Lions. Do you actually think he hates the Lions there, Warpath?
No, I don't think he hates the Lions. Where is this coming from? Like,
because when he interviews, he's like, yoga.
He's very docile. He just talks really monotone,
like a Frankenstein.
Why don't you you don't have a prima donna at wide receiver?
Oh,
take it from a guy who had his best wide receiver is not a prima donna in Terry McLaurin. It's great because he just goes out there and balls and doesn't say anything else. So,
and again. Yeah. I trade the Rams' 1st rounder, 4th rounder for a Gatorade cooler, a dozen Lions towels to the Browns for Mayfield. Wow, I think
still too much.
I think.
Oh my God!
And again, I don't see that happening. I don't see it, but and again, let's see. When will the new Lions schedule come out? It's actually next Thursday, 1 week from today. I'll be live on my channel. We're going to be doing the schedule release. Hey, it happened to fall on a Thursday, and that happens to be OPP. Then you'll see exactly what happens for the Detroit Lions. I'm going with 7-10 right now. Thoughts? I don't have an issue with Steven Likens with 7-10. I think that seems probable right now. I think if you ask the guys, they're probably within their range, within one or two.
For sure.
I think that's pretty much. Is there player lines passed on that you were breaking the furniture over? I wasn't breaking the furniture over Nakobe Dean, but I wanted Nakobe Dean. I did. And I wanted Verone McKinley as an undrafted rookie because he got undrafted. Didn't get it, but that's okay. That's my guy. Is there any guys you like, Mark?
Yeah, there's a couple players. When we took Pascal, Christian Harris, I believe, was still there, the linebacker from Alabama. I really wanted him. And then I thought when we picked Kirby Joseph, I liked the Kirby Joseph pick, but I believe the Colts jumped us, and they took Nick Cross, the safety out of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked him coming out of Maryland. But so there was two guys there, but I was still happy with the Joseph pick because I think the Colts knew that we were going for a safety, and they obviously grabbed one in front of us, and but we still got Joseph out of it. But I liked Christian Harris and Nick Cross for sure.
Great question for my guy Corey here. What happens if Aiden Hutchinson a bust and Williams is a star? What do you think would happen to our GM?
Well, I mean, it just depends on how it produces there, right? I think you have to have an array because every great GM has a reach or a bust pick, right, in the first round. It's just guaranteed to happen. I think you have to look at the full body of work, and you're going to get like some of the best ones are like 80%. So that means like 20% of the time you're going to find a guy. Now, I don't think that Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a bust because he's a Michigan boy. He's back home. It's the same reason why I think Kenny Pickett is going to be very successful with his tiny hands